Hi, everybody. Reese Davis with you, bringing you the EA Sports NCAA Football 14 pregame show presented by Nissan. Innovation that excites. It's an often heard refrain across college football. You'll hear players say, "We want to win this one for our seniors." Two excellent groups of seniors tonight. One of them will get the ultimate prize, a national championship. That does it for us here on the NCAA College Football pregame show. Enjoy the game. We'll see you at the half.
Time to kick off the BCS National Championship game, and this year we're in Miami, Florida. And now let's head down to the coin toss. Brought to you by Coke Zero. Real Coca-Cola taste and 0 calories. Enjoy everything. Is lined up and just about ready to send this one off as we're ready to get this game underway. The kick is away and the national championship is underway. He's to the 10. They'll bring him down at the 13-yard line.
Well, that's just great kickoff coverage right there. And you can see a lot of emotion on the field right now.
The quarterback leads the team out on the field for the first drive. Got his man. Oh, what a hit. Townsend's the kind of guy that could end up with some national honors because right now he's leading the conference statistically. From their own 17-yard line, it's second down. And they make the stop around the 18-yard line.
Gain of 1 on the play. That'll make it 35.
Hey, watch that. Check right 54. Right 52. Shift. Watch the shift. Check. Easy. Check. Easy. Check. Easy.
Trying to get it to the tight end, but it falls to the ground. Davis was the intended receiver on the play, and that'll make it 4th down.
It was a good hold by the defense on 3rd down. Now their punt returner will get a chance to make something happen.
Rodgers to punt. Booming kick. Hardy fields it at the 37. Brought down at the 47. Not a bad return. So the offense will come out in opponent's territory for their first drive of the game.
They couldn't have asked for better field position than this.
Brought down at the 45-yard line. A 2-yard run by the halfback.
It was a pretty good play here by the junior safety, stepping up and making a good tackle on the ball carrier.
From the 45-yard line. Second down. He's at the 30, to the 20, to the 10, and he's all the way in for the touchdown. And he converts the extra point. A quick two-play, 46-yard drive. And it's good for 7 points. So the score now, 7-0. Looks like they're ready for the kick. He kicks it off, and he got all of that one. He's to the 20. Virginia Tech's in the driver's seat right now, but it's still early, Kurt.
Yep, very early in this game, but you got to love the feel for it as far as they're concerned. They came up with a stop, and then they get points, and right now they're out of the game.
And while they are behind, they know they can knot things up in a heartbeat. It's way too early to change your game plan.
Tipped away. That was a nice play to close on the ball like that. You can't teach that kind of reaction. It's just natural ability.
Second down, 10 to go. Ball on their own 27.
Go nowhere, 22. Go nowhere. Easy.
Brought down after a nice run up the middle.
Call it a gain of 4 yards. That'll bring up 3rd and 6.
Two tights. 3 down. Hey, let's go. 150. Check. Navajo.
Tackle at about the 45.
He showed some excellent moves out there, more than you usually expect from a tight end. That was a big gain, and this offense keeps humming along.
1st and 10. Ball on the 45. Quick pass. He's taken down at the 29-yard line. The tight end came up with a nice catch that time.
Yeah, the big fella's pretty athletic for a tight end, and as a quarterback, it's always nice to have a big target like this to go to.
First and 10. Ball on the 29-yard line. A yard, maybe 2 on the carry.
Gain of 2 on the play. That makes it 2nd and 8.
Double tight. Two down. Hey, one set. Ready.
And he's taken down at the 17.
I think he was going to go to his tight end the whole way, but the defense didn't expect it. Sometimes those big guys can fool defenders into thinking they're blocking.
From the 17-yard line. First down. Quarterback all by himself in the backfield with 5 wideouts. Got it. And he goes down quickly.
Personal foul, face mask, defense.
So the offense will move a little bit closer with that penalty. First and goal, and a touchdown ties it, folks. They come out in a 5-wide set. Pass out to the tight end, but it's incomplete.
I'm not so sure he made the best decision that time. That was a pretty tight area he was trying to throw that one into.
This is the 9th play of this drive. Touchdown, Washington State. The extra point to tie this game up. And he hits the PAT. An 8-play, 65-yard drive. And they get it in for 7. We're even at 7 in this one. Rodgers has the ball set, and he looks ready to kick this one deep. He really got a hold of that kick. And it goes into the end zone, down for a touchback. And so far, it's been totally even. In close games like this, every possession is likely to matter. And he carries the ball for a nice gain.
Brings him down. Gain of 4 yards. That makes it 2nd and 6.
Second down and 6. Ball on the 29-yard line. On the ground, and he won't get back to the line.
The defense was able to get really good penetration and drop him short of the line of scrimmage.
From their own 26-yard line. It's 3rd down. It looks like they're going to blitz. And he's going to lose big yardage. He's tackled immediately after the catch. And down he goes at the 47-yard line.
Returns for a gain of 10 yards.
So now the offense comes back out, hoping for the same success they had on their last drive.
I think the defense right now is just sitting back on their heels. They're allowing the offense to kind of dictate things to them. And the one thing is that any defensive coordinator would tell you in the country, you have to be the one trying to dictate things to the offense. So change it up. Try something different. If it's not working, you can't continue to sit back on your heels.
It's 2nd down and 8. Ball on the 45-yard line. 5 guys will be out in the pattern as they're in the shotgun. He's got it with room to run. That's a great tackle at the 39-yard line.
Hardy on the tackle at the 39-yard line. That makes it 3rd and 3.
Man left. Easy. Box 2.
5 wide.
Let's go.
Tackle made at the 36-yard line. The running back goes for a short gain, but it's enough to get the first down.
You like how the offense is playing intelligent, controlled football. Here, using the safe run to get the first.
First down, 10 to go. Ball on the 36-yard line. Throws to the tailback, incomplete.
Here's a case of a quarterback so eager to make a play that he failed to see the danger of that attempt and nearly gave the ball away.
Check. 98 Weasel. 98 Weasel.
They'll line up with 5 wide receivers.
Eagle.
He's tackled at the 27-yard line.
That'll make it 3rd and 1.
And so it's another 3rd down upcoming here.
98 Weasel.
They'll bring him down at the 16-yard line.
That's good for a gain of 11 yards. That makes it 1st and 10.
Regular.
They come out in an empty backfield. Makes it out to maybe the 13-yard line.
That'll make it 2nd and 7.
This is the 8th play of this drive. Empty backfield, quarterback in the gun. 5 wide receivers. Caught end zone for the touchdown. And for Mitchell, that touchdown toss gives him the team's career record in that department.
Here's just another notch in what's been an outstanding career. It's sort of hard to comprehend how good he's been for so long.
And he tacks on the extra point. An 8-play, 46-yard drive, and they put up 7 points.
Brad, I thought that was a textbook drive. I thought they did a really good job of showing balance, mixing the play calling with the run and the pass. Just an overall well-executed touchdown drive.
Rodgers ready to kick. Excellent kick. Makes it to the 22-yard line.
Kickoff returns 22 yards.
You never like to have to play from behind, but a deficit this manageable shouldn't be in the front of their minds. They just need to go out there and play. Straight run, and he's brought down in the backfield.
Loss of 3 yards on the play. That brings up 2nd and 13.
From their own 19-yard line. 2nd down. On the reception, look out. Nobody there. And down he goes at the 28-yard line.
That's good for a gain of 53 yards. 1st down.
So let's see how the defense responds now. It's 1st down and 10. Fires quick to an open man. He dropped it.
Patrick, the intended receiver on the play. That makes it 2nd and 10.
Tight right. Three down. My 52.
Ready. Green on the top.
I love the toughness here by this quarterback, sitting in until the last second, trying to make a play downfield, only to have this defense get to him. He's got to do a better job maybe feeling things out a little bit, but at least he has the awareness and a toughness to sit in that pocket.
3rd down now, and they need to get it to the 18. They're showing blitz. He's under pressure. This one's going deep to the end zone. And he went way up, and he's got the interception. Nice pick by the safety.
Safety that time just sitting back there looking at the quarterback, and once it was thrown, he knew exactly where it was going, and he made the pick.
Washington State is up a score. Nice run up the middle. Townsend gets about 4 yards on the play. Both teams getting closer to the championship as we wrap up the 1st quarter. The score, 14-7, Cougars. Back to the action now here in the 2nd quarter. They'll spread the field with 5 wide. They go with a screen here, and the halfback's got it. And he's tackled at the 26-yard line.
This is smart, efficient play calling. You don't need to make the highlight reel on each play.
It's 3rd down, and they're about 2 yards shy of the sticks.
Box two.
They spread the field in the gun with 5 wide receivers.
Let's go. Green 19.
And he's level at the 34-yard line. They come out in a 5 wide set. Hands it it off inside. Brought down.
You've got to admire the intensity that these linebackers bring to the table. As soon as he saw it was staying on the ground, he made a beeline for the ball carrier.
From their own 34-yard line, it's second down. Complete, and they make the stop at the 41-yard line. Wide.
Let's go! Check. Check three.
Tries to thread the needle, and it's not going to work. Brought down at the 37. And the quarterback just can't believe it. He really wishes he could have that one back.
Every quarterback has passes that he wishes he could have back. However, hey, a pick is a pick, and no one is going to care how bad he wants that one back.
From the 37-yard line, it's first down. He makes it out to maybe the 36-yard line.
Call it a gain of 1 yard. That makes it second and 8.
Throws it deep. He's all the way. Touchdown. And for Hamby, he's just taken over the school's record for catches in a season.
Sure, he's had some drops along the way, but he never hangs his head. He never gets down on anyone for a bad pass or missed block. You need that kind of attitude to break records.
He splits the uprights with the extra point. A quick two-play, 38-yard drive, and they come away with 7 points. We're deadlocked right now at 14. Everyone's all lined up and ready for the kickoff. Nice kick, plenty of distance. He's to the 10. Makes it out to maybe the 19-yard line. Now here comes the offense, and you got to wonder if that last interception's weighing on the quarterback's mind at all.
Anytime you give the ball away, it's a disappointment. So these guys want to show that they can hang on to it.
He sails it long. Incomplete.
Incomplete. Woods was the intended receiver on the play. That makes it second and 10.
So it's second and 10. Ball on their own 19. They'll line up with 5 wide receivers. Gets out to about the 21.
That's good for a gain of 2 yards. That'll bring up third and 8.
The Cougars taking their first time out of the half. From their own 21-yard line, third down. They come out in an empty backfield. Gets it out quickly. Tackle around the 28-yard line.
Nothing the offense dialed up was enough to get by these guys. They're on right now.
There are 5 wide receivers split out. The quarterback in the gun. Knocked out of bounds at the 26, and they'll take over on downs.
What a play by the defense. There's no better time to step up than on 4th down in the national championship. I'll tell you that much.
You always want to go in the locker room with momentum, so as we get closer to halftime, I think we'll see more and more attempts to create big plays. Lost the ball, fumble. The defense has it. And that's exactly what this defense was looking for.
Yeah, that fumble gives these guys some added life. Now let's see if they can capitalize off of it.
Last time out, the offense wasn't able to convert on 4th down.
Hey, remember, You don't have to go for it on 4th down. The last time you had the football, you went for it on 4th down, and you didn't convert. Just think about this. If you move the ball into your opponent's territory and you want to take a chance and it makes sense to go for it on 4th down, I understand that and I get it. But when you're in your own territory and it's 4th down and 5 or longer, just considering a punt would make me so happy.
Passes it to the middle of the field. He's taken down around the 35-yard line.
That makes it 1st and 10.
They'll spread the field with 5 wide. Takes it up the middle for a nice run.
Call it a gain of 5 yards. That brings up 2nd and 5.
We've got a 2nd and 5. Ball on the 40. Quarterback all by himself in the backfield with 5 wideouts. Tackle after a decent run up the gut.
Call it a gain of 6 yards. 1st down.
They come out in a 5-wide set. And he's taken down at the 45-yard line. They pick up good yardage that time on the pass play.
Here they kind of put pressure on the quarterback and challenged him to find the hole in the defense. And in this case, he did. Nice job.
It's 2nd down, and they're about the length of the football from the 1st down marker. Nice run, and he's brought down.
Gain of 6 on the play. 1st down.
Wide. Makes the catch, and he might take it. He's at the 20. Touchdown, Cougars.
They pretty much had their way with the defense there. Terrific play.
And he converts the extra point. Rodgers has the ball all teed up, and he's ready to kick this one off. He kicks it off, and he got all of that one. This one's going to be down in the end zone for a touchback. Momentum swings have been fairly even, and with so little separation, this game can be drastically changed on just 1 or 2 plays. And he throws it away. From their own 25-yard line. It's 2nd down. And they might be coming with a blitz here. Gives it to the back. He fights forward to about the 26.
Gain of 1 on the play. That'll make it 3rd and 9.
Tackles him hard at the 19-yard line.
That's a loss of 7 yards. 4th down.
After the sack, it's now 4th and long. Bird is waiting for the snap. He's got the corner. Washington fields it at the 46, brought down at the 49. Washington State's offense is just clicking on all cylinders, Herbie, right now. It's everything they planned for, and it's all working.
Everything is coming together for this offense. They seem to be getting better with each series. And, this game started where this team was, they wondered if they were going to be able to move the ball against this defense. And I think right now, they seem to, as I said earlier, they seem to be growing with their confidence with each possession.
He fights forward to about the 46.
That makes it 2nd and 6.
It's 2nd and 6. Ball on the 46. They'll spread the field here. Let's see what the defense does with a 5-wide outlook. He gets hit out of bounds at about the 41. Washington State is up 7. Tackle made around the 33-yard line. From the 33-yard line, first down. They'll line up with 5 wide receivers.
Regular.
He's tackled at the 33-yard line.
No gain. That makes it 2nd and 10.
Second down and 10 to go. Ball on the 33. They come out in an empty backfield. Got a man, but he's tackled back behind the line of scrimmage.
Loss of 3 on the play. That'll make it 3rd and 13.
Bring him down at the 17-yard line. He gets to 100 yards receiving with that grab.
He poses a lot of problems for defenses with his size and skill, and he's really come through with his receiving today.
From the 17-yard line, first down. The quarterback in the gun, empty backfield, 5 wide receivers in the formation. Big play there, and now they're looking at 1st and goal. This is the 8th play of this drive. Washington State is up by a touchdown. Touchdown, Washington State. He made a great move to get into the end zone.
There's a perfect play call. They look like they practiced that one a few times.
And he hits the PAT. Rodgers gets set to kick this one away. Sends it sailing downfield. And it goes into the end zone, down for a touchback. The quarterback leads the offense back out onto the field as we get set to resume play. And he carries the ball for a nice gain. Sapp gets 6 yards on the play. The Hokies will use their first time out of the half. They're about 4 yards away here on second down.
Check. Stop! Right, 80!
Throws to the receiver, incomplete.
Johnson was the intended receiver on the play. That'll bring up 3rd and 4.
They're about 4 yards away here on 3rd down.
Let's bring it. Let's go. Let's bring it. Let's bring it. Get hyped. Here we go.
He's going to air it long. Picked off. It's the ball-hawking senior. That's a great tackle at the 24.
The defense here comes up with a huge interception. They've already got the lead, and it looked like this offense was trying to get back in the game, but that was a big turnover.
From their own 24-yard line. It's 1st down. They'll spread the field with 5 wide. Zips it to the tight end. 1 half complete in our national championship. The score at the break is 28-14 Cougars.
Hi, everybody. Glad to have you with us on the EA Sports NCAA Football 14 halftime show presented by Nissan. Innovation that excites. Bruce Davis, David Pollack here in the studio as always to lend a little perspective to what just went down in the first 30 minutes. All week long when I would think about this game, I thought that we were going to have a nip and tuck affair from start to finish. Now you look up, the margin is a couple of possessions, couple of scores. It's a great opportunity for this team to come out in the second half and put this thing away.
Yeah, you knew it was going to be a close game, and you feel fortunate to be on the right side of making some big plays. And you don't necessarily know, Reese, if that's going to happen in the second half, so you got to take advantage of this lead. Make sure that you don't squander. Make sure you don't make mistakes in the second half. But if you're looking at it right now, you're going, I'm pretty excited. I'm up 2 scores, and everything's going in the right direction.
That's it for us here in the studio. What are you going to do in the second half while the game's going on?
Yeah, I'm going to kick back and watch all these monitors.
We'll keep you up to date on everything going on around the country right now. Time for the second half with Brad and Kurt.
All right, Reese, David, thanks, guys. Just about set to start the 3rd quarter. Excellent kick. And he's taken down at the 17. There's got to be some sense of urgency to this offense right now. They don't have the luxury of wasting drives if they want to get back in the game. It falls incomplete.
Johnson, the intended receiver on the play. That makes it 2nd and 10.
From their own 17-yard line. 2nd down. They might be coming here.
Check. 98 Weasel. 98 Weasel.
Here's a screen pass. Gets it to the back. And they make the stop at the 28.
Gain of 11 yards. 1st down.
From their own 28-yard line. 1st down. Play action here. He's going to scramble. He's to the 40. Looks like he's going to run. Dives, and he's down. He made a real nice play on that one.
I'll tell you what, in today's game, you have to have the ability to run the football. Give the quarterback a lot of credit. He made a great play and really gave his team a boost.
We've got a 1st and 10. Ball on the 45-yard line. They go to the back, and he's hit immediately in the backfield.
That makes it 2nd and 14.
From from their own 41-yard line. Second down.
Patrick, the intended receiver on the play. That brings up 3rd and 14.
Man, these guys can be aggressive. When you stand back there and take hits like that, you're definitely going to feel it the next day.
Fourth and long here after the sack. They've got 10 guys up. They're coming after the kick. Signals for a fair catch. So they're just about set to get the game going again.
Easy. Stingray!
Brought down at the 46-yard line. It's 1st and 10. Ball on the 46.
Let's go! Blue 88! Blue 88!
Complete, brought down, nothing doing. So it's complete, but they didn't get much there.
And that's because the defense was just waiting on it and they attacked. The quarterback should have found somebody else downfield.
Easy! Big dog!
Nice run there. Jackson gained 7 yards on that play.
7 yards. 3rd down.
Jack! Patriot! Easy! Eagle!
Run up the middle.
The offense here picks up a first down by running the football, and I really think that they gave the quarterback there an option at the line of scrimmage to run or to pass, depending on what he saw from the defense. The defense that time looked to be out of position. I think they were anticipating a pass. Quarterback recognized that, made the check at the line, and they were able to run the football for a first down.
And they get nice yardage on that run. Townsend gains about 5 yards on the run.
That brings up 2nd and 5.
It's 2nd and 5 here. Ball on the 35.
Jack! Regular! Let's go!
Tackle at about the 33-yard line.
That'll bring up 3rd and 2.
Jack! Thunder! Watch two! Ready! Black 5!
He makes his way out to about the 25.
Brad, I think offensive coordinators spend more time focusing on 2 areas for an offense. 3rd down conversions and red zone offense. Right now, this offensive coordinator has to be really happy with the way this offense is executing in their 3rd downs. That's the 2nd time they've been able to get a first down in this drive on 3rd down.
ran a good-looking route and picked up positive yardage.
That he did, and he made a good catch. That short passing game is where you see all those hours in the summer that you put in pay off.
So it's second down now, and they need about 4 yards to pick up the first.
Easy, easy, easy. Eagle! Ready! Eagle!
And he's taken down at the 2.
That makes it first and goal.
And this is the 10th play of the drive. Hit before he could go anywhere.
Gain of 1 yard. That brings up second and goal.
It's the 11th play of the drive.
Eagle! Eagle!
And he hits him hard at the 1 yard line. Maybe a yard on the run by the tailback.
That makes it third and goal.
From the 1 yard line. Third down.
Lucky 95. Let's go. 345. Get off the field, D. Let's get off the field, D.
Give to the back and hit hard for a loss. That was well defended by this defense.
The offensive line is so concerned with their penetrating abilities that these linebackers are able to roam free and make plays like that.
This should be an easy field goal. It's up, and it sails through the uprights. The kicker looks like he's ready to kick this one off. Nice kick, plenty of distance. This one's going to be down in the end zone for a touchback. Mitchell's consistency throughout this game really cementing his star status right now. Kirk, this is what we expected of him, and through 3 quarters, he's producing.
Well, we knew coming into this game, as you said, he's one of the top quarterbacks in the country, and how can you not be impressed by what we've seen up to this point? I mean, he's making good decisions with the football, getting his teammates involved in the offense, but most importantly, he's not putting his team in any kind of bad situations. He just seems to be managing the game and not letting this game manage him.
And down he goes around the 37-yard line.
That makes it first and 10.
From their own 37-yard line. First down.
Set. Green 19. Green 19.
Hand off, and he's met immediately.
That makes it second and 10.
Second down, 10 yards to go. Ball on their own 37. Quarterback all by himself in the backfield with 5 wideouts. Throws complete, and he's got space to work. He gets hit out of bounds around the 45-yard line. Virginia Tech's got some new faces on the roster that they're expecting some big things from, partner. And, you know, that's what's great about college football. New faces every year, unexpected stars, and the newcomers that kind of splash onto the scene. From the 45-yard line, it's first down. Got his receiver, dropped it, incomplete.
Well, the execution here is very good by the offense. The quarterback did a nice job of reading the defense and put the ball in a position to be able to make the catch. The problem is the wide receiver did not focus and concentrate and hold on to the ball.
Check tight end, check tight. Check tight. Mike 52, Mike 52. Check 43. Ready. 180.
Tackle made right around the 32-yard line.
13 on the play. First down.
Here we go. No, check that. We got Mike 52 right here.
Our national championship game is 1 quarter away from naming the #1 team in the country. Our score, 31-14, Washington State. Welcome back to the action here as we resume play here in quarter number 4.
Here we go.
And he throws it away. From the 32-yard line, it's second down.
3 down. Check 13.
Quick throw. He's at the 20. He's tackled around the 15-yard line.
Just another weapon for this offense. He's got good hands, and he's tough to bring down. He showed right there that he can make something big happen.
This is the 8th play of this drive.
Hey, Mike 52. Mike 52. He said, cut back. I'm cut.
Got some open field. The 5. Touchdown, Virginia Tech. And he adds the extra point. An 8-play, 75-yard drive. And they add 7 points to the scoreboard. Sharp is lined up to kick this one off.
Washington needs to return.
And he's tackled at the 17-yard line.
Kickoff return 16 yards.
Both teams are well aware that a score on this drive is going to create an almost insurmountable lead. This defense has really got to step it up and make a stop. He's going to go for the home run. In the air, it's intercepted. He's at the 40. They'll bring him down at the 34-yard line. From the 34-yard line. First down.
3 down. Choose the Mike. Watch Mike.
Makes it out to about the 19.
That's a gain of 15 on the play. First down.
Let's go, D. Set. Wide 80. Wide. Motion.
And he's tackled around the 4-yard line.
Gain of 15 yards. Back makes it 1st and goal.
First and goal from the 4. They're knocking on the door.
Roger. Hey, Mike 52, Mike 52. Coming this way.
Here we go.
There was some movement on the line.
Switch.
False start, offense.
Just a mental lapse, but it's going to cost them 5 yards.
Still 1st down.
All day. Mike 52.
Set. Right.
And he's tackled after positive yardage.
Gain of 7 yards. That brings up 2nd and goal.
They're at the 2. 2nd down.
Tight right. Three down. Mike 52, Mike 52.
Sapp, left side. He's taken down at the 3.
More plays like this, and the coaching staff is going to need to change up the blocking schemes. You can't allow the defense to play in your backfield.
Cover tight. Three down. No, check that. Put Mike 52 right here.
Scrambling around. Fumble! Scoops it up. Looking for the corner.
Recovers the fumble.
So the offense turns over the pigskin.
The ball carrier here was just careless in handling the ball, and a great awareness by the defense to jump on it.
I'm sure the quarterback would love to make amends for that last pick.
And I don't think this defense will lay down lightly. They're going to try to continue to rally this guy.
And they make the stop at the 15-yard line. From their own 15-yard line. 1st down. Straight ahead on the give, and there's nowhere to run.
These guys have the capability to gain solid, consistent yardage. They have to regroup, come out a bit more motivated next time.
Makes the catch, and look out. Brought down at the 24-yard line.
Gain of 11 yards. That'll make it 3rd and 1.
Hey, pick it up, defense. Let's go. Check. Regular. Ready.
He makes his way out to about the 35.
If you can consistently run effectively like this, it'll force the defense to pay more attention to the run, and that creates chances in the play-action passing game.
From their own 35-yard line, it's 1st down. Incomplete, and that wasn't the greatest pass in the world.
Well, I don't know how anybody can throw a great pass while getting drilled like that.
Easy. Look in.
Gains his way to the 43-yard line.
That makes it 3rd and 3.
3rd down, and they're going to need about 3 yards to pick up the 1st down. Gains his way to the 49-yard line. And this play is number 8 on the drive. Finds his man, and they take him down immediately.
Gain of 4 on the play. That makes it 2nd and 6.
And this is the 9th play of the current drive.
Big dog! Ready! Red 68! Red 68!
Makes it out to about the 36.
First down.
10th play of the drive. Less than 3 minutes in the game.
Patriot! Patriot! Ready! Block 90! Block 90!
And he carries the ball for a nice gain.
That's good for a gain of 7 yards. That'll bring up 2nd and 3.
And this is the 11th play of the current drive.
Big dog! Big dog! Let's go! Red 18! Red 18!
Nice run there. Virginia Tech will take their first time out of the half. We're at the 12th play of the drive. The Hokies use their second timeout. He's had no problem finding running room today. That makes it 100 yards.
They say that the truly great players step up on the biggest stage, and they don't get any bigger than this.
It's second down now, and they're just a few feet away from that first down marker.
Jack! Patriot! 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 Patriot!
And that sets them up with a first and goal. Virginia Tech's out of timeouts.
That makes it 1st and goal.
And here's the 14th play of the drive. Just under 2 to go in the game. Touchdown, Cougars. And that rushing touchdown should put this one away, Kirk. He makes the PAT. So a 14-play, 96-yard drive, and a touchdown as a result. They line up to kick this one away. And he got all of this one. Great kick. And it goes into the end zone, down for a touchback. Virginia Tech's been doing special things on offense all season long, and not today. That's not what we've been expecting.
This has been a shocker. These guys have had their way with almost every defense all year long. You come in expecting the same thing, and they lay an egg. Oh, I didn't expect to see this at all.
The quarterback leads the offense back out onto the field as we get set to resume play.
Mike 52, Mike 52.
Quick throw, almost intercepted.
Mosley breaks up the pass. That makes it 2nd and 10.
Second down and 10 to go. Ball on the 25.
It's a bad play overall by the offense. The quarterback's doing everything he can to be able to make the play work and try to execute. The problem is the offensive line did not do a good job protecting him. They're very fortunate that ball wasn't intercepted.
Hey, what's that? Hey, what's the ball? Hey, Mike 52. Mike 52.
Just under 2 minutes in the game.
Ready.
Caught with room to work. Out of bounds around the 32-yard line.
Fourth down.
Looks like they're going to go for it on 4th down.
Choose the mic. Watch Mike. Watch Mike. Quad. Hey, check 24.
Throws quick to the receiver, and it falls incomplete. Unable to convert on 4th down, and the ball changes hands.
What a play by the defense. There is no doubt that their mind is on that national championship, and they're playing every down like they want to win that thing.
Well, they had a lot of success on their last possession, and now they're going to start this one off with excellent field position.
It's hard to ask your defense to come out and make a stop when they're already backed up this far within their own end zone.
Tackle at the 20.
Super effort by the tailback to pick up a nice gain and a first down. He's really a good-looking ball carrier.
From the 20-yard line. First down. Fires out to his wideout, and he's hit before he could go anywhere.
That brings up 2nd and 1.
Lucky 95. Lucky 95.
Big play there, and now they're looking at 1st and goal.
Gain of 8 yards. That makes it 1st and goal.
Under a minute left in the game. Open man, quick strike, and he can't pull it in.
I wouldn't be surprised to see a little animosity brewing right now between these two sidelines. This team has a huge lead, and they're still firing the football in the air trying to get more points.
From the 3-yard line. 2nd down. Quick throw out to the receiver, incomplete.
Davis was the intended receiver on the play. That makes it 3rd and goal.
Touchdown, Washington State. That's a huge touchdown on the ground, Herbie. That might do it. And he tacks on the extra point. Rodgers has the ball set, and he looks ready to kick this one deep. Nice kick, plenty of distance. This one's going to be down in the end zone for a touchback. Last time out, the offense wasn't able to convert on 4th down.
You know, the last time this offense was out on the field, they went for it on 4th down, Brad, and they came up short. I think as an offensive coordinator and a play caller, you've got to be very selective on when to go for it and when maybe to just punt the ball and change the field position.
And he's taken down at midfield.
1st down.
From the 50. First down.
Hey, Mike 52, Mike 52. Let's go, tight end. Let's go right here now.
Let's go!
And down he goes around the 49-yard line.
That brings up 2nd and 9.
Hey, let's get that ball, D. Let's get that ball right here. Mike 52. Let's go, man.
Quick throw, incomplete, wanted his receiver.
Johnson, the intended receiver on the play. That'll make it 3rd and 9.
Third down, and they need to get it inside the 40.
Roger. Mike 52.
They'll spread the field with 5 wide.
Ready! Let's go, Stan! Make some noise!
Gets it out to his receiver in a hurry. And he's shoved out of bounds at the 33. Washington State is the national champion.
Washington State.
So, Kirk, how would you sum up the action in this one?
Washington State made the journey and finished it off with the national championship. It really couldn't have happened to a better bunch of kids in a classier school than this. They've battled all year. Whenever it got tough, they came together and came out on top. And now they're on top of the polls, the world, everything. Congratulations to our national champion.
EA Sports congratulates this young man for his fine performance and his award for Player of the Game.
Wow.